You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Echo Route 65. So let's go ahead and get through more of this content, shall we, y'all? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go... Oh yeah, Carl. Okay. And let's go. Alright. I saw you back there, puffy-eyed and trembling. Oh no. You afraid of something at home? I know how the people can be out here. I'm frozen, feeling the tips of my ears burn rosy at today's endless cavalcade of embarrassment. She pauses, bending down to pick up the dropped note before tossing it in the bus's trash bucket. Especially with kids. I'm not sure what she means by that, and definitely am not sure what to say. I look back at Carl. He seems to be averting his gaze now, his paws deep in his hoodie pockets. Alright, I get it. Nobody trusts a hick bus driver to know what it's like to be a kid these days. Look, run along now. Sorry for, grabbing you. I'm used to them shits Jeremy and Clint doing that and getting me in trouble. I try hard and force a smile. Oh, thanks. I appreciate your concern and all. Yeah, they are pretty shitty. Hey, language, kiddo. Sorry. Also, tell Carl's flies down. He looks like a damn fool. I see Carl stiffen, quickly reaching down and fumbling with his zipper. His neon orange Superwolf boxers barely visible through his fly. Karen just sighs. I feel my phone vibrate within my pocket. See, Squirt's Monday. Let me see. Config. Okay. Alright. I step off the bus beside Carl and the door is shut behind me, Karen heading back toward the freeway. It gets dark so much earlier now that summer is over. Echo isn't exactly a major township. The area is deemed a census-designated place, so we don't get streetlights. Carl watches the bus fade off into the distance before pulling out his phone. Can't wait until I get my own car and license. He starts texting. Let my parents know that you're coming over. We should troll around on that 3D Virtue Chat game tonight. I spent some more money and got myself this big luchador avatar, except I gave him big old breasts. He's called Mamaria. He looks up at me with a smirk before turning and walking. How much did you spend? I follow, pulling out my own phone. Who are you texting me about, Salad? I was texting my aunt. I sent you. Oh. I don't know. I was just grabbing what I needed. $15 maybe. That's a lot for one of those kinds of games, especially just for clothing. Well, like the luchador mask I wanted was one of the premium items, and so it cost to be the most. Everything else was dirt cheap. So what's up, Flynn? I'm at the bus stop on Elizabeth Street. Every single girl in that game uses the same hair, the long curly blonde one that costs like $1. I think Jazz is in a shit place right now. She doesn't miss school ever, and Jeremy was saying weird shit about her at lunch. At least they say they're girls. I'm just trying to be unique, otherwise what's the point? It's a social role-playing game where I was getting ignored. I'm trying to keep away from home right now. I might stop by and check up on her later. I actually have another account with a character that is more normal looking. I made him after you left last time. I was going to after work. Her tit-dirt parents have been cunty as of late. You can if you want, but doubt your pansy self can handle Jer if he's there. I don't care if him and Clint are there. He's like this big primate-looking dude with burn scars everywhere and this kind of albino-y face. Had the idea for a character sort of based off a dream I had once. Look, don't know if I'm supposed to tell you this, but Leo is going to this party thing tonight. You should go too, or not. I don't care. Anyway, I went to a lot of the in-game hotspots at first. A lot of stuff you and I saw when we were messing around. A party? Not an Echo, right? What is it for, the election? It's for the Day of the Dead. That's today. A bunch of jocks and townie types are going to be there. Route 65 at Parsons Manufacturing. It's sort of like you said, that most of the people there are just middle-aged housewives who can barely type a sentence. But then I sort of went off the grid, I guess you'd call it. I like the spots that aren't advertised on the destination finder. I started finding a lot of weird shit. Like weirder than the shit we were making ironically, yeah? Leo didn't mention it when I saw him. You going? There were these places which look like more real-life houses, not the usual fantasy exotic stuff. Just people living in virtual families in these boring-ass looking homes, complete with framed photos of screenshots of their characters. I got the impression that a lot of them were, like, foreign. I just said I'll be working, and when I get off, I'm heading to Jasmyn's. Fucking to do, school paper boy. I walked into this one flat with these two horse ladies in it. They had decorations with Middle Eastern words everywhere, but they seemed normal enough. They had a TV on it which just displayed a slideshow of Photoshop photos of them with a baby. I was just curious. Fuck you. When I started exploring the house, I ended up walking into this nursery room and they got really pissed. I thought about trolling, and writing, "I eat the baby," and hopping up and down on the crib, but I don't know. It just felt like this weird mix of awkward and sad. Jace? Are you listening? And Carl is standing in front of me with a concerned expression on his face. It takes me a moment to respond. Yeah, just texting Flynn. He's actually responding to you? Yeah, I know. I look up the street. Carl's house sitting in its amber glowy glory atop the hill slope. Apparently there's a party happening tonight. Carl raises an inquisitive brow. Like, here or in general? I'm not sure what you mean by in general, but yeah, around here. It's for the Day of the Dead. Leo and I think maybe Flynn got invited. Leo and I think maybe Flynn got invited. What? They didn't mention it to me at all, and I asked them to their faces if they had any plans. I shrug. Flynn made it sound like it was mainly just Peyton people coming out here. Yeah, but it is weird they wouldn't mention that. It sounds about like the most exciting thing that will happen around here for months. Carl looks off to the side, shifting his posture some. I'd rather just stay home and play Virtue with you anyway. But seriously, what the fuck? The idea that two of our closest friends were keeping this a secret did make me feel pretty shitty. On top of all the other sensations of general shittiness I feel right now. It's at the Parsons Manufacturing Building, off Route 65. That's sort of in the ass end of nowhere for a party. Maybe it's like a rave or something. I shrug again. I think we should go. Carl blinks, his expression akin to as if I had just asked to rub his horns. Dude! He lets out a little huff, rubbing the back of his head. First of all, we weren't invited. Second, it's the middle of nowhere. Third, isn't Day of the Dead for like... He pulls his paw away from his beanie long enough to swirl it around in gesticulation as he tries to phrase this right. Latin folk? My blood's as apple pie as it gets, dude. Alright, first Leo was there, so I don't see him not getting us in. Oh, it was weird he didn't invite us in the first place. Second, we live in the middle of nowhere. Anything local happening is technically in the middle of nowhere, which still doesn't make it any more safe. Third, well, I don't know. I assume nothing too culturally sensitive is taking place in an abandoned factory, which won't save us from sticking out like a sore thumb. Carl exhales through flared nostrils, lolling his head up as if being throttled by how much of a bad idea this is. Dude! He looks back down at me, a taut frown upon his muzzle. I don't know, I guess I'm kind of curious. Worst case, we stop in, smack Leo, and then make like Flynn's fetish and scat. At best case, we stop in, smack Leo, and they have food. I rip your tail off for a cheese quesadilla right now. Don't do that. My phone buzzes in my grip. You're welcome. I gotta go. Try not to suck too much cock on your way there. So it begins. That's good advice from Flynn. I don't know if you're gonna hold out the whole way, though. Glancing over with a start, I realize that Carl is leering over my shoulder, squinting at my phone. Christ! I exhale, turning my phone's screen off. Yeah, I'll try my best. Carl lets out a breathy bit of laughter before pulling out his phone. Lying to your parents' time? Yep, your fault too. What should I say? Huh. You know what? I'll be 16 in like a year and it's a Friday, so my folks keep saying I need to be social, so... Before we go, though, I wanted to check up on Jazz. I see Carl give him a bit of an inquisitive look, as if he isn't sure whether to protest this decision or not. It's on the way, sort of, and she wasn't at school today. And Flynn told me that her parents have been worse as of late. Didn't know they could be much worse, dude. I know I may as well be the prep here, but they're like the definition of trailer trash. He pauses, then quickly adds, Not Jazz, though. I nod some to the affirmative, then begin to heading forward. I can see Carl looking a bit longingly toward his bedroom window, the aqua glow of his computer monitor visible from within. I have to admit that I also am kind of longing for some time on my laptop, though as I remember my situation from the morning, my heart sinks. My laptop's probably been taken from me, and my parents probably are going through all my files and internet history. My fists clench in inward cringe. I just need to try to not think about it. Crossing over into Jasmyn's neighborhood, the surface of the road shifts from asphalt to dirt. Whilst Echo's pavement is laden with alligator cracks and crumbling edges, the dirt road looks even worse. Each step we take kicks up a plume of dust, the sediment covering the road's top loose and sand-like. The clopping of Carl's hooves have been muffled though, making everything seem sort of tranquil. Which is odd, because hanging out with Carl is usually not something I consider a tranquil experience. And maybe the better term for it is eerie. I can see the faded masonry of the abandoned school building up ahead at the bend, the grass around it pale and dormant in the November chill. There aren't too many other buildings around besides it, though a few junk cars, cinder blocks, and steel barrels can be seen beside the road. Flynn calls this part of Echo Tetanus Alley. Dude, I usually don't even brave coming around here in the daytime. This is kind of... He gestures about with a limp flail instead of finishing his sentence. This is clearly out of his comfort zone, though I honestly think anything outside Carl's bedroom could be considered as such. You've never walked to Jasmyn's house at night? Never without, like, Leo or something. I nod. I get it. If someone comes running at me with a syringe, I'm using you as a meat shield. You smoke meth, you don't usually inject it. If somebody comes running at me with a meth pipe, I'm using you as a meat shield. I let out a half-amused grunt, keeping wary of my surroundings. There's no wind, so the mesquite and sagebrush are static still. We walk quietly for a bit, but as we reach the schoolhouse, Carl reaches the silence. People around here hate me, dude. I turn to look at him, the ram's face devoid of expression, his gaze distant. Well, Jeremy and Clint are just vocal about it. The rest just hate everybody, I think. No, like, you heard what Karen was saying, right? How she sounded like there was some collective simmering spite under the surface. Well, that's just... Don't say it's just Karen, because I hear it in other places too, dude. You're a spoiled, fat, rich kid. It's an easy target. My parents sell fucking ice cream. How can you hate the ice cream family? The ram waves his arms about before letting them flop ragdoll-like at his sides. I pause, hesitating on my response for a moment. Then it comes to me. Maybe they're just intolerant. I wait a beat. Lactose intolerant. Carl rolls his head back and lets out a surprisingly loud groan. Blinking, I hold up a finger to my muzzle. Shh, you're being noisy. Alright, y'all, I am tired. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!